Brett is finally back home. Nvidia is doing what they told us they were gonna do, and one of the largest cyber attacks on US infrastructure in history. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your host, Brett. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet. Yes, I am back in my domicile. Thank you to everybody who supported us over the last 2 months while we've been traveling for my son's therapy. It means a lot to have you guys continuing to watch. Everybody who supported us along the way, big thank you. Also, just another matter of housekeeping, I'm gonna ask that you guys go check out my brother's band's latest video. They just dropped a new music video, and that is my brother noodling on the guitar right there. It would mean a lot if you guys could go check out Young Bird's Pity Party. And with that being said, let's talk about Nvidia and them finally rolling out the LHR GPUs, also known as low hash rate. This is first coming out with Galax launching the RTX 3080 and 3070 LHR editions. Galax publishing that information on their website. You can see right here that substantively my computer is going real slow, but then also number two, that the core model is now different with them being LHR derivative, which stands for low hash rate, which means that they are not going to perform as well in all of the operations that you would want for mining, with the 3070 saying it's going to get about 25 mega hash per second and the 3080 getting about 43 mega hash per second, which is basically moving them back several generations of GPU, essentially becoming very, very slow. Nvidia has been saying that they're trying to make it so that people can't actually mine with their GPUs. We saw this rolled out initially with the RTX 3060. However, as I've been arguing, or from my perspective rather, it does seem like Nvidia is only hampering the regular consumer from doing anything, because all of the mining farms are either going to be purchasing the ones that can still mine everything that's currently out there, being able to gobble up all those GPUs, and really all this does is mean that you, little Johnny doodad at his computer, can't mine Ethereum on NiceHash when he has some spare time in between class and work. So I don't necessarily agree with this move that they're doing this, especially with only one algorithm. It feels very forced and very publicity oriented rather than anything caring about the consumer. But let me know what you think about Nvidia's LHR GPUs down below in the comments. And I'll tell you what I think about the chirp wheel, that I absolutely love the fact that I took it with me while we were on the road, while we were traveling. This is one of the absolute essentials in my arsenal for making sure that my back doesn't ache, especially since we're picking up our son all day, every day. It can get quite strenuous on our backs, which is why the Chirp Wheel Plus is our go-to for stretching our back, some back relief of the tension that we're feeling in there. Chirp Wheel's super simple. You just get on it and you roll on it. Whether it be the large, medium, and small size for different places in your back that you're trying to get the relief. The four-way stretch in the spinal canal in the middle of the wheel stretches the muscles around the spine, making it for a great stretch. It can support up to 500 pounds, and it's an FDA registered class 1 medical device, and you can purchase it with your HSA. I love it. I use it every single day, and I've never felt better back relief after using the Chirp Wheel Plus. So if you want to check it out, we have our link in the video description. Big thanks to Chirp for sponsoring today's episode of Hot News. Let's close off the Nvidia chapter of this news. One of the big things that Nvidia showed off when they launched their RTX 30 series cards was this marbles demo, and now you can get it yourself if you download Nvidia's Omniverse platform, which is currently in open beta over on their website. And you can just see here that it's RTX DLSS galore with all of the marbles everywhere. Okay, you can roll marbles on your own computer now thanks to Nvidia. And thanks to AMD, we now have some more shakeups going on in the server market. We've got our Q1 report of 2021, and AMD is taking more and more server domain from Intel than ever before, and coming close to that 10% mark that they were aiming for. Mercury Research, which is doing the CPU market search, did notice that AMD has kind of lost market share when it comes to both the Mercury Research, which is the company that's behind the CPU market share, did notice that even though AMD is gaining in the server grounds, it's actually lagging behind in the notebook and desktop departments, likely because they increased their price on their desktop chips. And so it's making it such that they're having higher margins but lower volume sales, thereby giving Intel back some of the CPU market share. ASUS trying to take up some market share of capture boxes. I just wanted to call this out because it's the most ASUS thing I've ever seen. The tough CU 4K 30 capture box has addressable RGB on it because, of course, ASUS would do that. And of course, Google Stadia would find a way to try to revive its dying platform in a way that just really won't do it. There's been discovered in the APK for Google Stadia, a way that you'll be able to control the video games on your TV through your Chromecast Ultra using the touchscreen on your Android phone. Bridge mode is going to make it so that you get latency from your phone to the Chromecast, to the Stadia server, and all the way back. It's going to be a lovely experience for all of those high, fast-paced shooters that you want to play. This is going to be the best experience, and to bring everything back, I just want to close this off by saying that, you know, Google has lost its head of product, at least 6 additional staffers, and subject to reports about its internal struggles, and it paid tens of millions of dollars to publishers like Ubisoft per game just to get games ported to Stadia. Stadia is great, guys. It's the best, all right? And this is the best. Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. There was a new trailer that came out for it. This is the DLC that's coming out for the Final Fantasy VII Remake game. Turns out it's going to be a PS5 exclusive for 6 months. So that means, at least according to the way the fine print reads here, if you have PS4, suck it, you should have gotten a PS5. You're gonna have to wait until December to play this game, okay? That's on you for not buying the console that nobody can get their hands on. And everybody can get their hands on stock because it's the age of the retail trader. Let's get into the GameStop Bitcoin crypto update is essentially what this is now become. GameStop, 10 cents up on the day on Friday. We'll see where it goes on Monday. Bitcoin down 1.3%. I mean, it's 60,000, it's worthless. Ethereum going up almost 4 grand. What's its all-time high? Almost 4 grand. This is at its all-time high. Holy crap. Ethereum, it's kerchewing. It's taken off. Dogecoin, I don't know if you heard, but Dogecoin kind of dipped after Elon Musk's Saturday Night Live appearance, where he said that essentially it was a hustle, which probably was a joke given the context of it being Saturday Night Live, but it sent Dogecoin just cratering. People had no confidence in this thing anymore. However, Elon Musk has all the confidence in the world, or the moon, with Dogecoin, because it's been announced that SpaceX is literally launching a Dogecoin funded satellite to the moon. It's going to be called Doge 1, going to the moon. It's going to have lunar spatial intelligence. The CubeSat's going to have onboard cameras and sensors, and it's going to be paid for by Geometric Energy Corporation. And the reason that this is a Dogecoin satellite is because the payment between Geometric Energy Corporation and SpaceX is going to be transferred in Dogecoin. So this is a Dogecoin satellite, and they're sending it to the moon. And Epic Games paid to the moon for all of those exclusive games that you were seeing on the Epic Games Store. Came out during Apple versus Epic. I can't say their names correctly. Day 5 or whatever we're on anymore. I'm just gonna stop saying the day. It's the fight of the century. Epic Games has spent $1 billion on all of those exclusives. Apple realized that it was losing money to Hulu from a tweet, specifically this dude in the middle of September of 2018 saying, "I didn't realize App Store subscriptions could be automatically canceled through the StoreKit API." Essentially, Hulu was making it so that if you subscribe through the App Store, if you said, "Hey, I just want to transfer this," it'll make it so that it switches your subscription so that it goes through Hulu's processing instead of the App Store's processing. So Hulu gets all the money and Apple gets none of it. And then somebody in Apple was like, "Hey, did you see this tweet? We're losing a lot of money to Hulu." Bad stuff. Bad stuff. It was also revealed that in some emails that with the Xcode ghost malware that went around on iOS and infected 128 million users, that Apple is like, "Hey, should we do something about this? Should we send an email and let like these people know?" And then they ultimately were like, "Nah, it's just gonna be like, everybody has a different language. It has to be localized, and it's accurately including the names of the apps for each customer. It's gonna be a hassle to let everybody know that this has been affecting them." So screw it, which is what Americans are saying to being tracked on their apps, because only 4% of US iPhone users are agreeing to have app tracking after the latest iOS update. That's in comparison to the global numbers, which is actually going to be 12% of people opting in. It's not yet known how much this is going to affect revenues, but that clearly goes down the path of thought that Facebook had with regards to this iOS 14.5 update. When you ask people for consent, they have the possibility of saying no. And that's scary, because then that means Facebook doesn't have money. And then what they're gonna do? Reconstruct their entire business model? This late in the game? You don't build a monopoly just to figure it out at the end. That's not how that game's played. You flip the board, you run out. Say, "Screw you, Mom, it's over." Happy Mother's Day, by the way. Let's talk about another fight of the century, Google versus Roku, that's currently going on. Google is trying to subvert everything that's Roku's doing by removing the YouTube TV app from Roku platforms by just putting YouTube TV in the YouTube app, which, why is it not there anyways? This just seems like a normal feature that should have been there. Duh. Apparently it took a multi-billion-dollar company fight to get it to happen. Great stuff. Roku not taking kindly to this, because essentially at this point they would have to remove the entire YouTube app from their platform, which you're not going to do that for the second largest search engine in the entire world. But they did say that Google's actions are the clear conduct of an unchecked monopolist bent on crushing fair competition and harming consumer choice. The bundling announcement by YouTube highlights the kind of predatory business practices used by Google that Congress, attorney generals, and regulatory bodies around the world are investigating. Roku has not asked for $1 additional in financial value from YouTube TV. Roku ain't having this crap, Google. You should probably just bow to the knee. All hail King Roku. And all hail King TikTok, because you're going to log in everywhere with your TikTok account, because TikTok login's now rolling out. Please stop. I don't like this. I don't like login with Facebook. I don't like login with Apple. I don't like any, I mean, sometimes they could be more secure, and I can understand that, like, it's easy, but like, man, I don't want Facebook knowing everything I'm logging into. No, thank you, sir. And I'm definitely not going to be logging into Windows 10X anytime soon, because Microsoft's shelving it. It's done for right now. This was supposed to be a Chrome OS competitor, essentially just a lightweight version of Windows 10, and now it's dead because Surface Neo didn't ever come out, which was the foldable 2 screen thing that they were going to come out. It's gone. It's all ruined. Thanks, Microsoft. What's also all ruined is a major US pipeline which ships oil from the west coast to the east coast was attacked by a cyber attack. Colonial Pipeline has temporarily shut down all of its fuel line operations and part of its network after learning of something that compromised its IT systems. They handle 45% of the US's east coast fuel supply. There's no estimated timing for a full recovery. Colonial was like, we don't know who did it, but then it came out in an additional report that it was done by potentially a ransomware gang known as DarkSide, who stole almost 100 gigabytes of data in 2 hours as part of a double extortion scheme. And it's not clear whether or not Colonial paid this money or what's going on with that, but the US government is now involved because this is a huge cyber attack on US infrastructure and could affect a lot of things, from gas prices to the ability for people to power their homes. This could have tons of rambling implications, especially since this is only one incident. If this starts rolling out to other areas of US infrastructure, it could be bad news bears for a lot of people. SpaceX not having a whole lot of bad news lately. They landed their Falcon 9 rocket booster for a record 10th time. Good job, SpaceX. I can't talk. NASA also taking a W. You can now listen to how the NASA's Ingenuity helicopter sounds flying on Mars. You can listen to it. There's a friggin' microphone on the rover and it recorded the noise. Go listen to it. Links in the video description, everybody. You need to hear what this Martian helicopter sounds like, okay? It's eerie. This is the first time we've recorded sound on a completely other planet. And my brother's guitar playing skills is on a completely other planet for me. You should totally go check out his music video right over there, my friends. Thank you so much for watching Hot News. I'll be back with another episode tomorrow. Cheers, friends.